This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello, welcome to the Horror Fried Podcast. Who's this hula hana of Come On, I Wanna Hula Bay? I'm sitting with the only person that's never seen Dirty Dancing, Michael Combs.
Oh my God. And we have Mike Martin over here.
Oh, and my favorite Lisa over here, Keith Clanton.
I can make you pretty. You're pretty in your own way. Hello, how's your mom and them? Thanks for joining us, friends. We're reviewing the 8th film in our Southern Horror series. As you know, the full list of this season's movies are posted on Instagram at the Horror Fried Podcast, so be sure to check those out and watch right along with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, come sit a spell. Let's talk about Wrong Turn.
2003, Wrong Turn.
That's right. So, quick synopsis. Chris and a group of 5 friends are left stranded deep in the middle of the woods after their cars collide. As they venture deeper into the woods, they face an uncertain and blood-curdling fate. Released May 30th, 2003, directed by Rob Schmidt and written by Alan B. McElroy. This movie stars Eliza Dushku, Desmond Harrington, Emmanuelle, Chriqui, I hope I'm saying that right, Jeremy Sisto, Kevin Zegers, and Lindy Booth. It had a budget of $12.6 million and made $15.4 million in the U.S. and $28.6 million worldwide. Michael,
Yes,
kick us
sir.
off, bitch.
Yes. So this is a rare movie. We get a prologue. Do you guys like a prologue? I'm indifferent. I don't really care.
Okay.
But what do you guys? You guys like a prologue?
It depends.
I feel like I'm kind of like you. I mean, I'm indifferent about it.
I feel like it's... I feel like in this movie it's not really necessary.
No, it doesn't add anything to it.
Nothing.
It doesn't.
Just
so,
2 kills. That's it. Anyways,
there you go.
Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. That's what it is. It's 2 kills. A couple's rock climbing, and they both get killed. So then we are then introduced to med student Chris Flynn, who gets stuck in a traffic jam on his way to an important job interview. He turns around and attempts to take a back way to bypass the traffic. On a dirt road, he slams into a parked car belonging to our other protagonists, Jesse, Carla. That's 2 people. Jesse, Carla, Scott, Evan, and Francine. They realize their car's tires have been punctured by a strip of barbed wire that has been strung across the road. This new group decides to walk down the dirt road to find help, while Evan and Francine stay behind. Evan and Francine decide to have an afternoon delight, and like any good horror movie, these characters are quickly offed. They were having sex after all. We then go back to our other group of characters who discover a dilapidated cabin in the woods. While looking for a phone in the cabin, they quickly discover something is not right when they find human body parts. They are about to flee when our antagonists show up in a beat-up truck. You quickly learn that these mountain people are of the inbred variety.
Mm-hmm. We've got inbreeding. Mm-hmm. Well, they talk about that in the credits, too, like if you're watching the credits. And so I made a note about this because they show newspaper clippings about inbreeding. But also, let me just say, I hate these opening credits, okay? I don't like the font. I don't like the transition of the font. They do this weird thing, and the music is very generic. And that's all I have to say about that. I was really irritated by it. I'm sorry.
I think you summed it up quite nicely.
That's a lot. That's very passionate about it.
Just
the opening credits.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm just saying.
So first act.
It is our first act, and...
What are the thoughts upon...
Well, I think it's fitting that it's inbred people. I mean, it is the South.
But that is a big misconception.
Is it?
We aren't sitting around fucking our sisters and
Is
brothers.
it? I've met a few people from the South where they've realized that their
maybe in
parents
Kentucky
are related.
I also
feel
like this is a perfect example of a difference between Southern and backwoods.
Yeah, that's true.
There is a difference. And this is also like West Virginia. So it's not like...
It's a little different.
It's not like Southern. Like when you think of like the southern part of like the States.
These are like rednecks. Like...
They're backwoods.
Rednecks times 100. Because, but I like what you said, because there is a very clear difference between backwoods and Southern. I am Southern. Michael is backwoods.
Thanks
The
for that.
backwoods of Montana over here.
I can tell you we are not inbreeding in Montana.
Did you think about Chris coming up on the first questionable looking man at the gas station when he's like asking him for a payphone and all that stuff and whatever? As soon as they show him, I was like, well, I mean, this should have been your first sign.
What he even says, like, when he's walking away, when Chris walks away, he says, take care. And the old man says, you're the one that's going to need to take care. Like, you know right off the bat, okay, you're in, like,
He's in
uncharted
cahoots.
territory. Yeah.
I mean, if I walked up on somebody and they were literally drinking Pepto-Bismol just for fun,
Something.
I
Time to
mean,
go.
Something should probably trigger.
Yeah. Well, I think that gas station owner is in cahoots with the inbred to not get killed, so he sends people that direction. That's my theory on it.
Maybe he's related to
I
them.
thought that was
Well,
kind of. I
he
thought
could
that there
be,
was
but he
some
doesn't-
sort of.
He could be their father.
Maybe.
But I also, well, I don't know though, because the only thing that kind of makes me side with like what you said about maybe being in cahoots with these people is because like when at that one point when they come, I mean this is later, so I'm sure we'll probably get to
At
it.
the
But
end.
like when they like the truck comes up and he kind of like almost
Oh, yeah.
shies away from it and like goes in kind of like a hiding mode.
I gotcha.
Oh.
So
Forgot
it's
about
almost
that part.
it's like.
It's very Hills Have Eyes. Like that gas station attendant in Hills Have Eyes. Like he's sending them people on purpose.
I'm glad you said that, because I feel like this is like The Hills Have Eyes. It's like a remake.
It's like
It's
like
similar.
a mashup between The Hills Have Eyes and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre almost, but
Well, and
not
I think,
nearly as good as either one, might I add. But
Yeah.
I think the director, the writer one said something about like he was trying to give us like Deliverance vibes mixed with The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, okay.
And like, I mean, I can see that.
yeah, no, I can too.
I can definitely see that.
I can too. So I think I just want to mention some of the characters here since we're, introduced to them pretty quickly. I forgot Lindy Booth was in this, who I think Lindy Booth is just the cutest.
I like Lindy Booth.
First of all, yeah, I like her. She's in Dawn of the Dead and Cry Wolf.
Alongside Kevin Zegers.
Alongside Kevin Zegers, who, mind you, I find him very attractive. He's very attractive, but in this movie, I was like, nah, I'd pass.
He looked like a homosexual.
A little, but didn't all the guys in 2003 look a little gay?
I feel like that's probably legit. I feel like his image, his look, his clothes were very 2000s.
Yeah.
And those glasses, those sunglasses.
Yeah, the sunglasses. So the characters, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I have a huge problem with all of the characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Chris is, like, obviously he's like our main character. And aside from Eliza Dushku's character, Jesse, I don't like any of them.
I'm with you. They are very
I don't
unlikable.
like any of them. I think Jeremy Sisto's character, which honestly, I'm glad you said his name was Scott, right?
Yeah.
Because in my notes, I call him Elton because he will always and
I
forever
literally-
be Elton and Clueless,
Yes.
nothing else.
I actually wrote that in my notes too. I was like, I can't look at Jeremy Sisto without seeing him.
Yeah, well, I
get that.
even, like, when I was looking through my notes, there's a part where I talked about, wow, Elton is a runner.
Yeah.
And then I just don't, he's not Scott, he's Elton. But I think Carly is a worthless character. Just fucking worthless, okay? And I'm like, Eliza Dushku, why are you hanging out with these people? Because it's two couples, and she's obviously the lone wolf here. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't have, I don't know, like, you don't seem
Other
to fit
friends?
in with these fucking losers. I don't know.
Well, did they
We
like?
find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
she just went through a breakup,
Yeah, and she like.
and they're
invited
trying to
him.
cheer up. Nothing cheers a person up more than running away from inbred hillbillies
Yeah, going to West Virginia. No, thank you.
in the mountains. Yeah.
Right. Go to Gatlinburg. It's safe.
No, I
Yeah.
do know that they say she's into, like, the outdoorsy stuff, and that's fine. But, like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I hate these characters, and I love to see them picked off one by one. Especially Carly. Like, god damn it, girl. Get a grip.
I mean, that's in our next act, but yeah, she's stupid.
Well, So when they're in the house and the hillbillies come home and they're all hiding, she's the only one that makes a noise because they're walking.
I have that in my notes.
Okay, so
I'm like, watch where you're walking,
you guys,
bitch.
You guys. They walk out of that room and fucking Elton is hanging on to her like a fucking five. I feel like I'm saying cuss words a lot. I'm really sorry, but you get what you sign up for. But like Elton is like hanging on to her like a kid, like you know, like a I don't know, terrified child. And then you've got her leading the way, and she runs into every possible thing in that cabin.
Because she's an idiot.
Girl. And also, I just want to mention this about the cabin, too. Do you feel like I get it was a set, right? Like, it's supposed to be a dilapidated, like, hoarder's dream. But I almost feel like it was too much. It didn't look authentic. Like, there was so much stuff in it. It just looked like they were almost copying, like, Texas Chainsaw or, like, Hills Have Eyes or something like that. It just
some of the stuff just felt, like, placed.
It felt like a set. You know, it didn't feel like a real dilapidated house that these hillbillies lived in. It just felt like a set.
I guess I kind of get that. Because if you think about, okay, perfect example, Eaten Alive.
Mm-hmm.
That felt...
It feels gross.
Yeah.
And real.
And this... I actually didn't get that gritty, nasty, dirty vibe, even though that's what it's supposed to kind of
you can
invoke.
tell that it's a set. Even The Evil Dead, you can tell that's a real cabin. This definitely feels like a set.
It just feels like a set.
Yeah.
Like it's almost, like I get what they were trying to do with it. Like obviously make it dirty and fill it up with all these random items, but it was too much, I think.
Yeah.
So that it didn't really work. It wasn't scary. It was just it was a fucking mess. You know, it wasn't.
One thing just in this movie, and it happens several times, I feel like they're just for them to be in kind of like attack mode, like they're being chased. Obviously, they know that these people are here. I feel like all these characters are very leisurely.
Yes.
Like walking around and just taking their sweet time to do everything. And I'm like, we got to go.
Some sense of urgency here, people.
Literally. Like that. There's one part, and this might be a little later, but they're running, and I think there's a tree down or something, and they're trying to get over it, and Carly's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, why not? Why can't you do it? I need you to fight for your life, girl. Like, Eliza Dushku is just pulling you along like a little doll.
Yeah.
I mean, rightfully so. Eliza Dushku is bae. I love her.
I will tell you this. I have a lot of issues with this movie. She's great in this movie. She is badass. She takes charge. Like, obviously she's terrified. But it's like she's fighting to stay alive with Chris. And the other ones are just kind of like, well, I don't know.
What do I do? Yeah.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Yeah. And because in my mind, like Eliza Dushku is like, she is a pretty badass, like, final girl.
Yeah, she is.
I think she is in anything she's ever done.
Everything. Like Buffy, that Dollhouse show, everything. She's just so good. But Bring It On.
Right?
But
yeah, Bring It On. She transferred from Los Angeles. That school had no gymnastics team. It was a last resort. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Couldn't help myself.
It's the vodka talking.
Well, let's talk about a couple of the deaths.
Okay.
Can you lend me an ear?
Can I lend you an ear?
Can you lend me an ear? He got it.
Huh?
Where he cut his ear off.
Where his ear, Lindy Booth's character finds Kevin Zigger's ear.
Oh, does she?
Look at him making jokes.
Y'all, I didn't like this movie, so it was hard.
I'm trying. I worked on that joke, damn it.
You know, it was good. It was good. It was just so we watched this movie. So, guys, just so you know, we watched this movie like 2 weeks ago. But two of us came down with COVID.
I did not.
Michael somehow managed to like escape, but Mike had a runny nose, and I was like on my deathbed for 3 days. So
and clearly, you still have COVID brain.
Yeah, I think I might actually.
You probably do.
But I feel like it's been a while since we watched this movie, so I apologize.
I do kind of like Francine's death.
I do too.
Is it barbed wire that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What is that called? A garrote or something? He like pulls it and.
I don't know. I mean, they've done it in a lot of horror movies, but Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that death.
Yeah, it was
I would have
probably-
Ryan, though. This goes back to unlikable character. She sees the ear, which would freak any normal person out, and she kind of is like, what? Huh?
Yeah, she's just wanting to find cigarettes at this point. Like,
Oh, yeah, she rummages through
she
Chris's
wants a
car.
cigarette.
Yeah.
And questions his music taste.
Yes.
She does.
But
She's
like
a
when
Snoopy bitch.
when they bring her back to like
The cabin?
the cabin, I mean that's a pretty intense scene in general.
Well, yeah.
When
Chris and
Chris
Jesse
and
are hiding under the bed.
under the
One
table.
bed.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
it a bed or a table?
I think it's a...
It probably functions as both.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
They're inbred.
Doesn't the like
One of them falls asleep on it.
Yeah,
They go
he
to
falls
sleep on
asleep on it.
Yeah.
But when the blood is like slowly trickling down towards them, and I'm like,
Yes.
I mean, okay, well, that would be the least of my concerns.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I mean, I don't necessarily want like my best friend's blood to be like all over me, but
It's
I
better
will
than
have
being dead.
yes, I will put my hand in it before I'm going
I
to
will
make a
take
noise.
a bath in that
Yeah.
before you murder me.
Well, then we have that very long shell casing scene because they drop a shell, a bullet, and he's trying to get it.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually one scene, I guess you could call it the cinematography in it, but that I really like is when, it's Scott and Carly, and the camera goes through like the peephole of the door. I guess it's the keyhole actually, and then it like goes in on them. I thought that was kind of cool. That was a cool perspective. I did enjoy that.
I did too. It was very nice. I really loved the kitchen. Julia Child would be very proud of that kitchen where they find the body parts in the fridge.
Oh,
Yes.
Would she be proud? I mean, they do have a lot of nice knives. So.
Yeah, she'd say bon appetit.
Today we're going
We're going to make a meat pie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. So I guess that we're going to move on to the second act, the middle of the movie. Our protagonists manage to escape the house with the hillbillies in pursuit. They stumble upon a grassy clearing full of vehicles, clearly cars from people they have killed and butchered. Chris tries to make a diversion so the others can escape, but is quickly shot in the leg. With Chris down for the count, Scott makes a diversion and runs into the forest with the hillbillies in pursuit. The girls help Chris and steal the mountain people's truck. They find Scott, but he is quickly killed with multiple arrows through the back. They drive off until they are unable to go any farther because of a downed tree across the road. They traverse the forest and find a forest ranger lookout station and go up to look or use a radio. As they use the radio and get someone on the line, the hillbillies attack the tower. Unable to get to them, the hillbillies set the tower on fire. Our protagonists decide to make a break for it and jump it. I don't know what that word was. They jump into the tree canopy. As they try to get away, Carly is killed by Three Finger. Jesse and Chris manage to lure Three Finger into a trap and kill him. They manage to escape and hide in a cave overnight. I guess we didn't mention that. Those hillbillies do have names. Three Finger, Sawtooth, and One Eye.
It's not important.
It's not important, but...
Right. And their names are very fitting. I mean,
It is.
It's what you would think of.
You could literally call them anything, honestly.
They also kind of sound a little like X-Men characters, but that's fine.
Three Finger.
I'm just saying, I had some like random ass notes for this, and I just need to make mention of one of them because
Sure.
I just read it and started laughing to myself because I forgot all about when they're in the house and they're just kind of rummaging through all the different items. And I think it's Carly that picks it up.
Probably.
That little, like, it's like a crown, but it's like really fucking run down looking. And I was actually in my notes, but oh, look, it's Helen Shiver's crown.
Oh my god, I think when we watched it, I said that.
I think you did, yes.
That is too funny. Oh my gosh, we're on the same wavelength.
Oh.
Okay, so first I want to say that the hillbillies are obviously smarter than we're giving them credit for because they think, well, if they're not going to come back down, then we're going to just bring them down with the fire. So I thought that was smart.
Yeah. They also enjoy a chase, like a hunt.
Well, yeah,
Because they
of
easily
course.
could have shot them as they were going up the hill to get away.
Yeah, can we talk about them climbing the ladder, though? That CGI Oh my God. Y'all, I have such a problem with it. It was not realistic at all. They were like climbing up the ladder and you can see like this beautiful West Virginia background and you're like, girl. That is not good CGI. But I get it, it's 2003. We're not, I get it. But like, I don't know, it did not look realistic at all.
I mean, so you like jumped past the whole scene though with like where they're in the big car lot area.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry.
So what?
We can jump around.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's all part of the second act. What did you think about like that whole scene when they like are trying to get the truck and all this stuff? Because I just feel like once again, Chris and Jesse, they just basically lead this whole fucking movie.
Yeah, they know what's up.
All the other people, you said Carly was useless. Honestly, I kind of feel like they all kind of are. Elton has his moment. Scott, he like is like running around in this field like trying to distract whatever, and then kind of piggybacking off of the hillbillies are smarter than we give them credit for. I mean, they're also good aims.
Well, yeah, this is something that they're used to hunting. Like, if it's not people, they're hunting animals to eat. So,
Because
like,
he done shot what's his face Scott with those arrows like what 3 times?
yeah. Well, and this is obviously not their first rodeo. You can see all these things in their house from people they've taken, and the the yard full of cars, whatever you want to
Tons
call
of
that.
cars.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh when Scott is getting shot with the arrows. Because then Carly's like down there in the truck and she's just like, Scott, what are you doing? Come on, what are you doing? And then he just falls and they still sit there and I'm like, go.
Yeah.
Like, obviously.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like, too, when they're in the junkyard with all the cars and they see the truck coming, I don't feel like they're hiding. They're just, like,
they're
standing on the side of a car. I'm like, I don't know, maybe you should duck down a little bit.
They had plenty to hide behind.
Plenty.
Yeah. I mean, all of that. And then I think, well, no, that's later. We'll get into that. Go ahead.
I'm just laughing because, like, the more I talk about it, the more I realize I really don't like this movie. But anyways,
But was it
I'm
one
sorry.
that you, like, in 2003, do you remember watching it and really enjoying it?
Oh, my God. Well, yeah. But, so let me make a comment on that really quick before it escapes me. This movie has had several sequels, and I've seen a few of them, and they're fun, right? They're, like, fun. But I also feel like this movie feels very straight to DVD, straight to video, but because of, like, the horror craze of the early 2000s, they were like, oh, yeah, theatrical release. And which it, obviously made some money.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I feel like the quality is very...
Reminiscent of that.
Very cheap. I mean, it looks very cheaply made. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the cast isn't like, it's not as notable as like, I Know What You Did Last Summer or whatever.
It was still a decent cast.
Yeah, for the time, for sure. I mean, the only thing I really knew Desmond Harrington from, though, was Dexter. So, I don't know.
I don't think I knew him from anything.
I was going to say, I don't think I really did either. I just knew that.
I mean, I knew Lindy and
I knew
Kevin more than I knew. And
they died the first.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I knew everybody else except for the main character. But also, don't forget, Emmanuelle Chriqui. I don't know if that's how you say her name or not. But wasn't she in that movie On the Line?
Yes. I was going to mention it, but I was like, I don't know if that's like.
Didn't it have some NSYNC people in it?
Lance Bass was the main character.
Y'all. Anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe she was in Snow Day
Actually,
as well.
I'm pretty sure her and Lance dated.
Oh,
like during that.
When he was straight?
Yeah, when he was straight.
Shout out.
Oh. I enjoyed the chase through the tree canopy, though.
Okay.
Oh. You didn't?
How realistic is that?
It's
You're
not
just gonna be
realistic.
running through
It's
some tree branches. That is not a thing.
It is not realistic.
I mean,
at
I get
all.
there were some big trees in the. I sound like such a bitter old queen today.
They were.
Once again, it's the vodka talk.
Maybe, but like running through the. Really, you gonna be running through some branches?
Well,
This is West Virginia.
I mean, realistically, though, if you're up in this watchtower,
Yes.
obviously, like
There's nowhere
Chris
else to go.
says, I don't want to burn up,
Yeah.
so I'm going to jump.
And if I fall and
So-
die, I fall and die. It's better than being burnt to a crisp.
Well,
True.
knowing my luck, I wouldn't die. I'd just break everything, and then they'd still get me.
Me too.
I wouldn't be lucky enough to
Oh.
just die by
No.
landing on the ground.
Knowing me, I would have jumped and my shoelaces would have gotten caught on something. And I would have just been dangling.
But yeah, like, now, one thing I will say, and this, we're laughing a lot at this movie, but when, what's her face? I think it's Eliza Dushku, actually.
Jesse?
When she jumps, she literally looked like a flailing monkey. She didn't.
She's a part flying squirrel.
like, I just felt like when she jumped, she didn't look like she was jumping to aim. Like,
She just went for it.
yeah, she just
What is
dove.
that leap of faith? Leap of faith.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, it worked for her, I guess, but
It did. I mean, yeah, but then I think about it too. Like, a tree branch can't be an easy thing to, like, grasp a hold of, too, as you're
No.
going that
flailing
fast
through the air. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was almost like somebody just pushed her, and she was just like flailing.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, none of that's realistic, or it's all stupid.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it does make for a fun. It is fun to watch them running
Yeah.
through the trees, but then I just think about that is so. No, you can't run through a tree.
No.
Well, and I mean, so obviously you've voiced your disdain towards Carly. So were you pretty excited
Oh
when
my
she?
god, yes, get rid of her.
She's so stupid in that part, though. Like, why are you just standing there?
Well, she does that the whole movie. It's because Eliza Dushku had gone so like she could only fucking pull her along for so long before she was like, "Bitch, you're on your own. I am
She's
exhausted."
dead weight. Yeah.
Well, and at that point, she's having to like care for Chris and his little limp too.
Yeah.
She's doing all the things.
Yeah. Which actually, the actor Desmond Harrington, at some point in the middle of them like filming, he actually broke his ankle.
Oh.
In real life, like going over one of the logs or something in the woods or something. So like when they did the scene where he got shot in the leg or whatever, and they were talking about how it was actually hard for him to like try to limp like on that leg because he was already like in so much pain from like the ankle hurting. So he was like literally like in legit pain
While he was shooting.
trying to do all this crazy shit. And here
Yeah,
you have, what's her name? Emmanuelle Chriqui
Carly.
that can't even do something as simple as like, you know.
Walk over a branch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She is worthless. I do like that death, though, because she gets the axe through the head and her body falls.
Yes,
And
and then her head. I will say, I think that's my favorite death in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I think not just because I can't stand her character, but I think it's clever. Like, you've got the axe, her body falls, and then her head comes later. Like, I think it was done really well.
it was.
I like the little tree chase scene, but at the same time, I'm also kind of like, we're trying to get away from them, and I kind of feel like that's almost like provoking them to find me.
Yes,
I would be a little bit more not, okay, let's come up with a thing that's going to get them close to us so that we can maybe
knock them off the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
right.
One thing I will say, when they're in the watchtower, they're trying to use that CB radio. And then when it does finally go off, and I don't know, I wrote a note about this. It goes off, and then they just stare at it. And I'm like, okay, well, here's your chance. Like, you just going to look at it?
Yeah.
And then and then Carly, I think, is the one that picks it up and tries to talk on it. Because, you know, she's desperate. She's just desperate to get out of here. And Jesse says, shh. And I'm like, girl, it is too late for that.
They already know you're there.
It is too late.
Well,
The
she's
smoke's
also the
already
only
coming
one,
up.
before they go on the watchtower, Carly's the dumbass that's like, hello, is anybody up there?
Yes.
Be a little bit louder.
Be a little bit more discreet.
She was really stupid.
Yeah, really dumb.
When they get someone on the line, I have this in my notes, and I don't know why, but they get someone on the line, and someone says, I don't know our position, just help us.
Yeah.
They need to know where you're at.
Well, I'm in a watchtower in West Virginia.
There you go. That's something. That's better than nothing.
I mean, I can't say that if I was in that moment, though, like, I wouldn't know where the fuck I'm at. Like, I guess
mean,
I would.
yeah.
I guess I would say,
But
I'm in a watchtower.
But,
Right.
well, the thing is if that's a watchtower that people actually use,
I'm
there's got to
sure-
be something in there that says what their location is. So, like,
I'm sure firemen or something, or rangers used it.
Well, that
yeah.
CB radio was originally, I think, on some sort of desk, and they pull it off. So, like, look around. I'm sure there's coordinates on there. But, I mean, this is, Carly we're talking about here.
Oh, Carly.
I know.
I mean, as much as we dislike her, she's gotten a lot of airtime on this episode.
She really has. And so beyond all that, because you left off like where they spend the night under a waterfall essentially,
Yes.
right? Well, there's a scene where they're sitting there, and Jesse's like telling a sappy story, and I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe it was about her ex-boyfriend, but I wrote in my notes like, "Girl, we ain't got time for this shit. Like, why are you spending so much time telling Chris this sappy story?" Like,
Well, isn't that when we find out why everybody was there?
Yes, that's where
So that
we
was
find
the.
out.
yes, but I feel like at this point in the movie, A, does anybody even care? And B, get the fuck out of there. Like, what are you doing?
They do that a lot in this movie. It's like when they just come up with that plan to knock the inbred off the tree. Instead of
Yeah.
going, keep going. We're like,
Exactly.
we're going to come up with a plan. We're going to pull this
I mean,
branch back.
Yeah, but at least, like, I understand that. Like, yeah, try to kill one of them. But, like, this is just my boyfriend.
And you thought that was...
Well, okay.
I don't know. Just, like, come on.
So anytime, in my opinion, like the whole scene where they're in the waterfall, whatever. Okay, sure, smart. Y'all probably needed to rest. I get it.
absolutely.
Y'all have had a very long day.
And it is beautiful.
But but why don't you just follow the water?
Yeah.
Like,
True.
because
It's going to take you somewhere.
it's going to take you somewhere. I would not be going back out in those fucking woods,
I'd rather be in the river.
because the woods, they can hear you. If you're in the water's going to be like loud enough where it's going to drown you out.
Yeah, or at
So,
least
like,
stay close to the shore of the water and just
right, walk
keep
along.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I thought about when they were like about to take back off into the woods. I'm like, why? Y'all, water goes somewhere. So
Follow it.
Yeah, just go.
I'm glad to know if this ever happens to us, we'll
Survive.
probably survive.
Maybe.
Well, he won't.
I
but
might end up like the
think we
rock
might.
climber from the beginning. The girl that didn't know what the hell she was doing. I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like her flailing out the window onto a tree.
I could see that.
So I guess that brings us to our finale, the climax of the movie. Chris and Jesse leave the cave, but are quickly found by the remaining inbreds. With Chris unwillingly shoved down the hill, Jesse is kidnapped. A cop shows up and in return killed by Sawtooth. Sawtooth steals the police vehicle. Seeing an opportunity, Chris stows away underneath the police car. Sawtooth drives his way back to their cabin. Chris starts the building on fire and drives the police car through the cabin. He finds Jesse strapped to a table, but is attacked, and overtakes the cannibals and frees Jesse. They seemingly kill the remaining cannibals, and they drive off in their truck. They make their way to the gas station from the beginning of the movie and take the map so no one else can take that wrong turn.
Ooh. I like how that was played. I will say this. I think the climax of this movie is really, really good. It's pretty
very
fast paced.
action-packed, yeah.
Oh my god, yes, extremely action packed. And I think Eliza Dushku's character like kicks ass in this movie. The only thing I don't like is that she was kidnapped, and Chris is gonna be the big bad boy and go save her.
'Cause she's been the badass
I don't
the whole
like
time.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of wish like why though? Like she's been so badass this whole time. Like she doesn't need. And
She don't need no man.
no. And like,
No.
yes, he does go save her. And at the end of the day, I think she is the ultimate hero here because, he's fighting with, I don't know, long dick and butthole. I don't know what their names are. But it is a good finale. It's very action packed.
I mean, kudos to Chris for. I don't know. I mean, I guess he had a lot of faith that she wasn't dead yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that I would have. I don't know.
And
I
upper
mean,
body strength.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Talk about a plank.
Like, Yeah. Are you kidding me? I would have lasted 2 seconds. I would be like, well, I guess I'm not going.
Because, yeah, like, I thought that. I was like, man, he must really feel something for her, because if you're willing to, like, dive back into the madness when you literally probably could have just gotten away.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess that's the power of Eliza Dushku.
And I will say, I feel like this movie, it's one of those, like, it does kind of take, I mean, not really, but it takes place in more real time than a lot of movies. And he's only known her for, like, what? Not even 24 hours?
No.
A few hours, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's got it hard for Jesse.
I also feel like this is one of the first times that we get, like, real, like, close-ups on these, like, people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
In the daytime, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, it's either kind of quick glances or whatever, except for the one where he, like, opens his eye when he's asleep or whatever. So, I mean, I guess we haven't really talked about the makeup part of this, but, I mean, I kind of feel like they did a pretty good job as far as...
I do, but I'm just, like, that is another misconception. Like,
They don't all
inbreds
look like
don't
that?
look like that. Not all. I mean, well, I mean, I guess it just depends on, like, the history. Like, how long's this been going on?
Yeah.
I mean, I do get that, but, you know, for me, it's like a movie like The Hills Have Eyes. Like, that does make more sense because they're probably inbreeding, but they're also, like, deformed due to, like, nuclear testing and stuff,
Yes.
right? And these are just deformed because of inbreeding. So I feel like for them to look that way, like, this has to be, like, going on for a really long time. I don't know.
Well, and what's their names? Three Finger...
Butthole and long duck. Long dick.
Long Duck Dog.
Sawtooth. I have it in my
Three
notes.
fingers, sawtooth.
And one eye.
One eye.
So it's almost like their deformities are their names.
Yeah.
Kind of. Even though, like, I mean, because like you said, I feel like the nuclear stuff is a little bit more believable. But, because I don't feel like just because you're, like, inbred, you're going to pop out looking like
Right.
Sloth from the
Right.
Goonies. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
True, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you might be missing a finger or two or something, but...
Yeah, I mean, I do like the practical effects in this movie, though. Like, there's a lot of CGI as far as, like, again, when they're walking up the ladder and
Background.
you're seeing the background and stuff. But I feel like a lot of the kills
Are practical.
Those are practical. There's a lot of good, really good, and I prefer practical any day over CGI. But I do like the effects in the movie. I think all the kills and all those practical effects were done really well. But, yeah, I mean, solid makeup for sure.
It was. And those inbreds had 9 lives. Every time I thought they were dead, they somehow got back up.
They're strong.
I guess.
That's another
when you're
thing.
inbred, you're extra strong.
Exactly. That's what they always kind of portray that aspect of it, too.
Isn't that
whenever you
weird?
see-
I think it'd be the opposite.
Right.
They'd be sickly.
They'd have like a lot of health conditions
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, not even that. Like, I mean, like, they obviously are pretty smart. Like, the way that they've, like, manipulated and maneuvered these people around this area.
Yeah, they're definitely not stupid.
Right.
No.
So, I mean...
You're right. It doesn't really make sense because they are smart. You figure that out throughout the movie. Like, they know what they're doing, yet they live in filth and they look crazy and, like...
Eat people.
Yeah, it doesn't really match up.
I mean, I guess it's... I mean, obviously they've lived here their whole lives, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, like, they know everything. The ins,
They know the
outs,
area,
they know
yeah.
everything. So, like, you can't really get away, per se. But...
It's
yeah.
their home.
Right.
So, not only does this movie have a prologue, we have a post-credit scene.
We do.
We have a post-credit scene. A cop is dispatched to the cabin, and as he explores the fiery ruins, Three Finger erupts from the building and kills the cop. And the movie's over.
And
So
then
9 lives that somehow still alive even after the cabin's been blown up. Blown to smithereens. And
Well,
that was
there's-
not a small explosion.
There's
That
like-
explosion was huge.
There's 4 or 5 sequels.
Yeah. I
And
mean, I think when I was looking, I was like, I saw like Wrong Turn 7, and I was like,
Oh,
God.
okay. Then maybe more than I thought. I think I've only ever seen the second one for sure, and then the third one. But I don't know if I've seen anything beyond that.
I haven't.
I did see just kind of random little factoid here, but apparently Jesse's name was taken from the main like heroine or whatever in Gerald's Game, like Stephen King's Gerald's
Oh,
Game.
really?
Yeah, they had the same name. Didn't know that.
Interesting. So I have a question.
Yeah.
We've not really done this before, but I'm just curious. Like, I want to know who your favorite character is and your least favorite character is.
I mean, I feel like we might be in general consensus on this. I can't imagine that we wouldn't be.
Okay. Well, you go for. Tell me yours.
I mean, mine's gonna be. Well, Jesse for sure for like favorite. But I mean, my least favorite could actually probably go a few different places.
Okay, but it's got to go one place.
I know. The first one that comes to mind is obviously Carly.
Yeah.
And that's really just... If they just didn't make her so dumb. I always love rooting for the girls.
Oh, well, yeah. Absolutely.
But, my God. Like, shut up.
There wasn't anything likable about her.
No. And she walking around like she's in the damn Britney Spears damn Baby One More Time video in the gymnasium with that outfit on.
She was.
Yeah.
Michael.
Well, my favorite is definitely Jesse.
Yeah.
Eliza Dushku. I think my least favorite, it's a toss-up between Carly and Evan. I think Evan's stupid.
Useless.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we already got an opening kill. We didn't need him.
Right.
True. True. At this point, like, yeah. I think my favorite character is probably Carly. 100%. Just kidding. Jesse is the best, obviously. Chris is a likable character, but I feel like he's a little uptight at times. Like, I don't know. It just he seems very like military.
He wants to
and
get that job interview.
But that's literally all he was worried about. God damn, I'm gonna miss this job interview. But yeah, Carly's the worst. I would say out of all the movies we've watched so far, she's my least favorite character.
Oh, that's a bold
I
statement.
have to look back.
I mean, if I look back at like some of these characters that have annoyed the shit out of me.
No, Carly for me, hands down.
Really?
She's getting a trading card though.
She needs a trading card.
Absolutely. I can't wait to
What's her hobbies going to be?
drag her. Nothing. Nothing. Her hobbies are nothing.
I know, for her to be walking around dressed like Sporty Spice, she definitely is not.
No, not sporty at all. Mm-mm. Nope. So before we move on to our final thoughts, you know what it's time for?
Rating? Oh, Horror Fright Theater.
Michael,
Oh my
are
God.
you with us?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I blacked out for a second there.
He had a stroke, y'all.
So, a random little... Because there wasn't really a whole lot of, like, stuff about this movie in general. But one of the things that I did think was kind of cool says that Stan Winston, who is apparently, like, the key design of, like, the Mountain Men, the makeup and everything,
I know that name.
says... was the second last major horror film he was involved in before his death in 2008, and prior to that was Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3.
Oh, wow.
So he was actually the one that like did the makeup for Jason looking all cray-cray.
Yeah.
I think he did Pumpkinhead.
Oh, he may have, yeah.
Oh, and y'all know I love Friday the 13th Part 2. It's my favorite.
That's why I was like, oh, that's an interesting little
That is a good factoid.
tidbit. Do you want me to lead into the...
Yeah. Tell us.
Okay.
Set us up.
So first of all, let me just go ahead and disclaimer this theater by saying this was a bitch to like get together. It's not like one. Some of them have been a little adventurous and kind of fun to kind of put together. This one not so much. And it was just all over the place. I had to literally sit, watch the movie on YouTube, pause it, start it, and type this up in my phone, y'all. So just give me a little bit of credit. I'm going to take a screenwriter award for this. Okay. So, but anyway, so to lead into this, the actual scene that we're doing is going to be the Watchtower scene. So where all three of them, you know, they're kind of like finally having a moment to breathe when they're sitting around kind of in the woods. Because, you know, they leisurely sit around places in this movie. They obviously see the Watchtower and kind of things start to happen. So
I mean, honestly, it's pretty long considering you had such a hard time.
Oh, I felt like it was pretty long. So, Because I was doing it and I was like, it was one of the only ones that I felt like had 3 people, and it wasn't going to be complicated trying to have 5 or 6 of us, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like Slither?
Yeah, we were playing different characters and reading each other's lines. It's fine.
Or, you know.
Coming soon, y'all. Slither, coming soon.
Or character names that were not those characters. But yeah, so in this scene, though, we've got Keith is going to be playing Chris. I'm going to play Jesse, and Michael, you get to play.
I get to play Carly.
You get to play Carly.
I really am expecting a really good voice.
I cannot do voices. I'm not you.
I mean, I'm just saying.
To be completely honest, I was going to give him Carly.
He would have been
out of
Carly.
sheer, like, you know, to keep the flow of him playing women.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, I mean, maybe we could give him, like, the,
throw him a
Yeah,
bone.
I'm gonna put some bass in my voice.
All right, so not a lot of I just gave you the intro, so we can just kind of dive right into Michael.
Hey guys, look.
Carly points.
Oh my god, it's a watchtower.
Yells.
Hello? Is anyone up there?
Shh. All 3 walk around looking up at the watchtower. I don't think anyone's up there.
Doesn't matter. Maybe we can find a radio. Maybe we can see the road.
Looking at Carly. You okay? They begin climbing the watchtower. Once they get to the top, they see it's empty, but with a lot of random items. They all 3 hover around the window and see nothing but trees. Guys, I don't see any roads or towns out there.
Don't stand by the window. They might see us.
Looks at Carly. Hey.
We're all gonna die.
Wait. Can you say that again?
I don't know if I can do that again. We're all gonna die.
I really need you to help me come look around, please. They begin looking around the watchtower and find several various items. Jesse finds a first aid kit. Hey, Chris. Chris comes walking/limping towards her. They begin tearing through bandages, prepping him to get his leg bandaged. Meanwhile, Carly finds a tube full of glow sticks to give them some kind of light as the sun is starting to go down.
Jess.
She throws the glow stick to Jess. Thanks. Jess pours alcohol on Chris's wound. He winces in pain and he begins to wrap it up. Carly then finds a radio.
Oh my god, it's a radio.
Jess and Chris walk over to Carly.
Thing looks prehistoric.
Do you know how to use this?
Let me try. She turns the power on.
It still works.
Don't move anything. Keep it on the frequency they had it on.
Jess begins talking into it. Can anybody hear me? We have an emergency. Can anybody hear me?
They didn't say anything.
Look, we have a huge emergency. Can anybody hear me? Someone is injured. We need help. Hello? Please, is there anyone out there that can hear me? Chris, by the window, keeping an eye out, sees motion in the woods.
Get down.
Chris continues peeking out the window, seeing the mountain men coming through with large torches on fire, leading the way straight to them.
I think they're passing us.
A long silence happens as they watch the mountain men creeping by the watchtower, only to have the silence broken by the shrill of the radio. The mountain men instantly look up to the watchtower.
What's your position? Do you copy? Hello? Do you copy? What's your position?
Carly grabs the radio to answer.
I don't know my position. Just help us.
Chris, looking out the window again, doesn't see them anymore.
They're coming.
The mountain men begin climbing up the watchtower, and Jess, Chris, and Carly begin frantically trying to figure out next steps. Jess grabs the radio. We don't know our position. We're in a watchtower. We must be north. Someone's trying to kill us, please. They murdered our friends. They're after us right now. Chris is trying to get the door covered that they entered by and making a lot of noise doing so.
Stay right there. Do you copy?
Yes, we copy. Just hurry, please. This is an emergency.
Help me move this.
Jess goes to help move something on top of the door.
They're after us. Someone's been shot and our friends have been killed. Please. Help, please. Fuck.
Silence briefly as they watch the chest over the door, waiting for the mountain men to come through. They eventually slam into it, cracking it enough for the hand of one of the men to come through. Chris stomps down on their fingers. Silence. What are they doing?
I don't know. I think they've gone down.
Unsure of what to do next, all 3 of them look to each other in silence.
Hello? Is anybody there? Can you hear us?
The radio is then ripped from her hands and through the wall. Maniacal laughter they can hear outside. Unsure of what to do once again, they start to see smoke billowing in through the window.
Jesus, what are they doing?
We're on fire. They're trying to burn us out!
Oh my god. Flames shoot up through the entry to the watchtower. Carly grabs a suitcase and chucks it through the window.
Carly!
He goes and grabs Carly from the window.
Let go! Let go of me! I'd rather jump than burn to death.
Chris looks down below.
You're right.
What?
She's right. We have to jump. Those branches are only a few feet down.
More like 20 feet.
Look, Jess, I don't want to burn to death and I don't want to be chopped up into little pieces. We can do this. I'll go first. I'm the man.
Chris stands in the window looking down. Jess grabs him and looks at him as if to say be careful, but simply says his name and then nothing. They proceed to flee the watchtower one by one.
Woohoo!
Yay.
That actually didn't read so bad.
No,
it was fun.
Good.
For that to be such a pain to do and put together, it actually didn't sound.
That was a good scene to choose.
It was good. My throat hurts after that. Man.
Mine does
you were
too.
very raspy.
I know. I smoke a lot of cigarettes. Chris is a smoker, obviously. Mm-hmm. Because Lindy Booth stole his cigarettes from his car. And, you know, he was sitting in traffic for a long time at the beginning
What
of the
else do
movie.
you have to
so
do?
he was just
Smoke? Chain smoking.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now it's time for our final thoughts here at Horrified. We rate our films using the heat scale of Nashville Hot Chicken, which we love so much. We'll be using these temperatures on a scale of 1 to 5, no spice, mild, medium, hot, and Nashville Hot. Mike.
Yes.
What do you give Wrong Turn, 2003?
You know, I'm somewhere like, I don't hate it. Mm-hmm. I definitely don't love it. Mm-hmm. There are just certain things about it that just really annoy the piss out of me in general. But honestly, if it wasn't for Eliza Dushku, I might not even like it at all.
Okay.
So just because I'm a huge fan of her and I stand her being Final Girl and being the badass that she is, I'm going to give it a medium.
You have faith in Eliza Dushku.
I do.
You see what I did there? I don't even watch Buffy.
So yeah, I'm a solid medium.
Okay. Michael?
I have the same rating. I'm going to give it a medium. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I remember not really loving it back when it came out in 2003. And like you, if it wasn't for Eliza Dushku, it definitely would have got a worse rating. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have anything else to say.
I'm giving it a mild. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I mean, I echo what you guys say. If it wasn't for Eliza Dushku, I think this movie was complete trash, honestly. I don't know. I mean, look, it's a great idea, and it's fun. It's fun. I'm not going to say it's not a fun movie to watch. It is fun. There's some great kills in it. But for me personally, I just, you know, it's not one that I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm watching Wrong Turn tonight. Yeah. Yes. Like,
well, and it's like there's not... I mean, I guess there's a reason that there's so many sequels that nobody knows about. Mm-hmm. Because they all probably fall into the same kind of category. However, I did see where, I guess this movie, and unlike the sequels, didn't have any sort of like nudity and stuff in it. You have that one little bit of sex in the beginning with Kevin Zegers and what's-her-face, but you don't see anything.
No.
And... I guess in the sequels, apparently they're very open
TNA.
about showing a bunch of
Well, you know, the second one is about the taping of a reality. Have you seen the second one? Mm-mm. So the second one is about a taping of a reality show, and it's supposed to be like a Survivor-esque show. And there's all these people, and they're in West Virginia, and it's like them trying to survive in the wilderness. And the opening kill is Kimberly Caldwell from American Idol Season 2. Do you know Kimberly Caldwell? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I loved Kimberly Caldwell back. I mean, I still do. She's beautiful, and I like her raspy voice. But she is going to participate in this reality competition because they want a celebrity. And so she plays herself, essentially, and she's the opening kill. She gets sliced down the middle. But yeah. Interesting, like, plot. I just...
The only thing I know about it is Erica Learson's in it.
She is in it.
The remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Blair Witch 2.
She is in it. Yeah, she absolutely is.
Thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Except for God, Elton, can't you suck?
Actually, I feel like in this, it's God, Elton, you really suck.
Yeah, seriously. So thanks for joining us, y'all. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and rate the Horror Fried Podcast, and catch up on all of our previous episodes on your favorite streaming service. Links are available on our Instagram page. Now it's time to swap spit and hit the road. Until next time, remember, there's not a pot too crooked that a lid won't fit. Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Via con Dios. Bye.
Now get them trousers off, boy. Don't be a sissy.